Brought to you by WikiVidi.com. Chris Heaton-Harris. Christopher Heaton-Harris is a British Conservative Party politician. He was elected as the Member of Parliament for Daventry in May 2010. Previously a member of the European Parliament for the East Midlands from 1999 to 2009. Early life and education. Born in November 1967, Heaton-Harris attended the Tiffin Grammar School for Boys in Kingston upon Thames before studying at Wolverhampton Polytechnic. He worked for the family business at New Covent Garden Market before taking over from his father as chairman of What4 Limited until his election to the European Parliament. In the 1997 general election, he stood in Leicester South, a safe seat for Labour. He was the Conservative Party's candidate for that seat in the 2004 Leicester South by-election, and came third to the Liberal Democrat Parmjit Singh Gill. European Parliament. Heaton-Harris was elected to the European Parliament in 1999 as MEP for the East Midlands, and was re-elected in 2004. He was the chief whip for the Conservatives in the European Parliament from 2001 to March 2004. Heaton-Harris sat on the Internal Market Committee responsible for coordination at community level of national legislation in the sphere of the internal market and of the Customs Union, as well as the Central America delegation and the Bulgaria delegation. He was a founding member of the Campaign for Parliamentary Reform, a cross-national, cross-party group of MEPs that campaigns for reforms within the Parliament. Its manifesto includes creating one seat for the Parliament, cleaning up the system for MEPs expenses and improving debate within the Parliament. Heaton-Harris was also responsible for bringing the case of Marta Andreasen, the European Commission's chief accountant, to public attention back in August 2002, and has been involved in fighting fraud, mismanagement, and waste within the European Commission and other European institutions. Immediately prior to standing down in 2009, Heaton-Harris was the president of the Sports Intergroup, a group of approximately 40 MEPs who have an interest in sport and sporting issues. From May 2006, he sought support within the EU legislature for a letter to FIFA demanding that the Iranian national football team be thrown out of the 2006 World Cup because of the Iranian president's comments about the Holocaust being a lie. Heaton-Harris describes himself as a fierce Eurosceptic. Member of UK Parliament. Chris Heaton-Harris was a member of the Conservative A-list and was selected to succeed Tim Boswell as candidate for the safe Conservative seat of Daventry in June 2006. He won the seat in the 2010 general election with a majority of 19,188. In March 2012, Heaton-Harris was reported as being one of the Conservative MPs to have spoken critically of party co-chairman Saeed Owasi at a meeting of the 1922 committee, following Wars's handling of Roger Helmer MEP's defection to UKIP. Financial interests. Heaton-Harris accepted tickets for himself and his family to attend 4 events at the London 2012 Olympics relating to swimming, diving, gymnastics, plus the closing ceremony, as a gift from Coca-Cola. The value of the gifts was the highest amount received by any MP, although he did declare them in the Register of Members' Interests. In 2017 he accepted a ticket and hospitality for an NFL game at Wembley worth £479 from NFL UK. Climate change. In November 2012, covert video footage of Heaton-Harris discussing the role of James Delingpole in the Corby by-election were published on the Guardian website. The recording made by Greenpeace appeared to show the MP's support for Delingpol's independent anti-wind farm candidacy at a time when Heaton-Harris was engaged by the Conservatives to run the unsuccessful campaign of their own candidate Christine Emmett. Heaton-Harris indicated that this was linked to a plan by core members of the Conservative Party to emasculate the Climate Change Act by making its commitments advisory rather than mandatory. After Heaton-Harris apologized for the impression he gave in the video, Home Secretary Theresa May said he was guilty only of silly bragging, while Labour's Michael Duffer MP urged Prime Minister David Cameron to show leadership and punish him. The Corby by-election was subsequently lost by the Conservatives with a swing to Labour of 12.8%. Letters to universities. In October 2017, the Eurosceptic Heaton-Harris wrote to the vice-chancellors of every university in the UK, requesting the names of academics lecturing on Brexit and copies of all course material leading to claims of political interference in academic freedom as well as censorship. The move was branded McCarthyite by Professor Kevin Featherstone, head of the European Institute at the London School of Economics, and sinister by Professor David Green, the Vice-Chancellor of Worcester University, who likened it to Newspeak and the Thought Police from George Orwell's 1984. The letter attracted criticism from both pro-Remain and pro-Leave academics at London's Queen Mary and Cambridge universities, and a rebuke from Downing Street, with Lord Patten, Chancellor of Oxford University, calling the letter an act of idiotic and offensive Leninism. Following widespread criticism of the letter from politicians and academics, Universities Minister Joe Johnson suggested that Heaton-Harris might have been researching a possible book on the evolution of attitudes to Europe rather than acting in his role as a government minister, and probably didn't appreciate the degree to which would be misinterpreted, although there was no mention of any book research in the original letter. Brought to you by WikiVidi.com. Would you like to know more?